The mini Super Nintendo will be turning 9 years old this year, but should you buy this little awesome console that Nintendo has produced in 2026? In this video, I'll go through things like design, what games are actually on this little console, and how much they cost, how much you can actually find one for in 2026. Let's start off with design. As you can see, this is the original Super Nintendo, and this is the new mini one. Well, it's 7 years old now, but still pretty new. So as you can see, they've done a very good job with the design, in my opinion. As you can see, it is pretty much the exact same thing. You got your power button. The eject button doesn't work on here because, of course, you can't put cartridges in. They're just loaded on the actual system. The reset button does work, so if you press that, it just goes back to the home menu. And then you have the same one here, but the eject button does work because obviously there's a cartridge spot. The old original SNES uses ports I'm even too old for, probably like AV, AUX ports they use, whereas the new SNES, mini SNES only uses HDMI and micro USB. If you don't know what micro USB is, think of like the old Samsung phones like S7 and before then, they would use micro USB. But yeah, Nintendo did an absolutely amazing job with the design. And also, if you pop this open under here, it's actually the controller port, as you can see. This just slides on in. So before I show you some gameplay, how much should you expect to pick one of these up for? On eBay right now, you can get one for $103 Australian, which is pretty good, about 70 US dollars at the moment. Or if that's without the box, so a bit cheap without the box. If you are looking for one with the box, you're a collector and all that, you're looking at about almost double that really. Boxes are cool, but I don't know if I'd pay double that for a box. You're looking at about 180 to 200, as you can see on the screen right now. By the way, I forgot to mention, this thing requires like no power at all to run. As you can see, I've literally got it plugged into my Switch 2, which if you've ever charged your phone or tried to, these things are super slow, just like any console really. So just plugged in there, and then as you can see, got the USB old Samsung port in there. So it doesn't use much power at all, which is quite cool. So as you can see here, I think it offers around 20 games. As you can see, these are all the ones that it's actually got on here. So we've got Zelda, Link to the Past, Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart, best game, well, one of the best Mario Karts ever in my opinion. Star Fox, never played it. Street Fighter 2, played that a bit. Secret of Mana, Mega Man, Super Metroid, Punch Out. I've not really played any of these games except Mario Kart. Bit before my time. Final Fantasy 3, Donkey Kong Country, Kirby's Dream Course, Earthbound, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario RPG, Kirby Superstar, Star Fox 2, Super Mario World, F-Zero, Super Ghosts and Ghouls. I've played that one before, that's fun. Castlevania 4, Contra 3, The Alien Wars, not sure, and we're back to Zelda, The Link of the Past. But some pretty decent titles on there for sure. It will say 1 player or 2 player. I've got the one controller, the other controller, it's somewhere else. I know where it is, but just for this video, I'm just gonna use one controller. And these controllers, they're exactly the same. They're wired and everything, very nice and clean. Pretty much the exact same as the SNES controller. The top controller is the old SNES controller, a bit faded as you'd expect for 40 or so years, 35 years. But they've done very well. It's pretty much the exact same design, to be honest. Feels exactly the same. So I'll start off with Super Mario Kart, show a bit of gameplay, how everything is. But all games on here run an upscaled 720p from the original SNES. So all games will look significantly better than the 224p that the old SNES outputs. We've got Mario Kart up. This is the first Mario Kart, by the way, if you didn't know that. First one ever made. And it's totally one of the best, just simple controls. Pretty easy to play as well. You don't really need a drift. You can just kind of... And you also use the D-pad as well to control it, as I'm just going off screen. This cord, by the way, for this SNES is about, I'd say somewhere in between 1.2 and 1.4. Went straight into that and just got squished. 1.2 and 1.4 meters, so it's a decent size, but you can't really be lying back in your couch. I'm sure you could definitely buy some sort of extension for it. Like, I'm sure on like AliExpress or something like that, they would sell some kind of thing where you 3-meter extension cord even for this, where you can sit back in your couch and play it. But it's a thing to keep in mind for now. 1.2 to 1.4 just reaches me, and I'm actually not too far from the TV, not too far away or too close, so it's a decent size. We'll see if I win. I probably won't. And yeah, screwed up at the end. But definitely a pretty good experience. I'll play one more game. So if you'd like to get back to the main menu, there's no like home button or anything. You just literally press this button, the reset button. So I'm going to press it and it just goes back to the home screen. Got Donkey Kong up. It does feel smooth, to be honest. So like, it does feel like it's 60 FPS. Like I believe it actually is. Crazy though how games, it's still in the 80s and 90s, literally ran at the same frame rate or even more than modern games these days. It's crazy to think of. But I'm not the biggest fan of Donkey Kong. I don't mind it, but like, not really into the 2D kind of game. Even Mario. I'm not the biggest 2D Mario kind of fan. I do like Donkey Kong Bonanza and like Mario Odyssey. But obviously like everyone loves these kind of games. That's not me, I guess. So as the fastest level, you could probably do that with your eyes shut almost. So instead of getting something like the mini Super Nintendo, are there any alternatives if you wanted to play just SNES games? Well, yeah, they are. Look right here. So this is the Wii U right here. You may own these already. So my Wii U here is modded. You can play Nintendo 64 games. You can play pretty much anything on this, to be honest. Even Wii games. This is great for like, if you wanted to play all of them, to be honest. And then you've got the 2DS here. These things are very expensive at the moment. Over about $300 US even or so. So probably not the best thing. And you've only got the tiny little screen, so you wouldn't be doing 2-player. And then of course you've got the Nintendo Switch or the Switch 2, as I've got here. This isn't a bad way of playing it. However, I don't like these bars. I wish they were just black on the side. However, they're not. You also have to pay for the monthly subscription, which is $60. You need the expansion pass here. Just the regular one won't do it. For SNES games, you need the expansion pass. However, you do get lots of other things like 64 and even like Game Boy games. So if the only games you wanted to play, only SNES games you wanted to play were like Mario Kart and Zelda, I'd go for the mini Super Nintendo. However, if there were lots of games you wanted to play, I would go the Wii U probably, because this thing's only got 20 games and lots of them you may not care about, and there may be some more like ones that aren't as popular that you did want to play. So my choice would probably be the Wii U, or even the Switch 2. It's got some Switch 2 and Switch 1 Virtual Console. It's got some pretty decent games there. So the question is, should you buy a mini SNES in 2026? Well, I believe you should, honestly. For the price, let's call it $100 Australian, so about $70 US without the box. I reckon that is a very good deal for what you're getting. Like, it is even cheaper than one of these. And with one of these, you buy it, and it doesn't come with any of the games and all that. So I know this is cooler, obviously, with the cartridges and all that. But for the games that this has, that you'd have to pay to have on this, would probably be about $400 to $500 these days with how much they cost. And that's just for the cartridges, not even the boxes. So would I recommend this? Yes, if you can find it for the right price. And even if you buy it, you play it a few times and you just put it away in storage, that's okay, because they'll never go down in value. They are going to be a collector's piece one day. So I reckon it's a pretty good purchase.